ninth largest area of the world. A symbiosis of East and West. A country of great opportunities. Bright impressions. Everything you wanted to know about Kazakhstan. Important notes, useful routes in the program Routes and Notes. Ereymentau country of Akmola region. It is about 100 or 200 kilometers away from the capital, and as soon as you are there, your soul is literally blends with nature in soothing dance, surprised and free-spirited, relaxed and enjoy. Although, of course, it all depends on what time of the year you find yourself here. The climate here is a little harsh. Locals counted that there are about 40 days a year that can be absolutely calm. We were lucky to be in the region of Ereymentau during this short period. It was so quiet that at some point the blades of the windmills were literally frozen. We felt as if someone had firmly fixed them. But sometimes we still feel the blow and understand one thing: the presence of wind in general doesn't spoil the impression. The nature of the steppe is so virgin that you just want to drown in its herbs, soaking up the perfect beauty of the vast sky like nowhere else. And peering into the distance, leaving the horizon, again and again you feel that you've seen this before on the canvas of a famous painter. Not immediately, but almost everyone who has been here agrees that the steppe is a beautiful creation of nature. Especially in this area, nature has created, so to speak, steppe with a good level of service, that is, with a sense of green abundance and with a variety of small lakes, rivers and forests. It is a miracle inviting any traveler. You don't have to be afraid, because these forests are not thick and you won't get lost. Also, there aren't wild creatures around. Unless if you meet ants, but if they are not disturbed, they won't even notice you in their hectic daily work. Sometimes you can scare some hare, ground squirrel or fox. Those that are bigger, you won't even notice them. They just perfected their skills to hide from human eyes. After all people here sometimes appear as hunters. There are wild boars, roe deers, hares, foxes. Of course, there are argali, as well as сайга.
Сайга, говорю, недавно зашла вот.
Ereymentau country is the largest metropolitan area of Akmola region. The area is very modest in terms of its popularity with tourists. In Akmola, more popular are considered to be Zerenda and Shchuchinsk-Burabai area, with its numerous curative lakes, bizarre rock formations and centuries-old pine forests. But now statesmen seriously intend to work on a tourist attraction and Ereymentau region that loses to the rest of districts of the region only by the amount of lakes, although there are about 20 of them here. Emphasis will be placed on the development of ecotourism and historical tourism. Both are the best fit for the region. This area has the most pristine natural beauty of the region and at the same time one of the largest amounts of various historical monuments. My friend from Switzerland came over the winter. They fished here. We also had guests from Germany. They were surprised by our nature. They like to come here and in general were very pleased with nature that we have here. The largest lake of Ereymentau region is Lake Karzinkol. Its cleanliness and fish at the moment is only treasure of local residents and travelers from neighboring regions, including the Russians. Look at those bathing in the water. Well, aren't they lucky? Interestingly, do they realize that at this very moment, almost single-handedly, they are using a generous gift of nature, the lake, eating clean, transparent, underground springs. All these lakes feed spring floods while significantly increasing their size. While during the rest of the year, these reservoirs are generally not as large and deep, to the bottom of a maximum of about 10 meters. These 10 meters do not give rest to local and visiting fishermen. It is rich with fish. You can find here the usual carp, pike, perch, carp, well, not counting the carp, bream, roach. It is like a small fish, and people come fishing. Right now, there is a rich variety of fish you can get from here. Cisco has also grown. It is a large, good fish. In winter, it goes well. Another thing of Ereymentau region are mountains which are called Ereymentau. They are not mountains in our traditional view. Their maximum height is only about 1,000 meters, but they are truly amazing. These rocks have rather bizarre forms, so that sometimes it seems that God has created them as a toy for little divine inhabitants of Mount Olympus, and God created them since the Paleozoic era with the help of the rain, wind and temperature extremes. And this creation is fine. It stretches almost 100 kilometers of mountain ranges, canyons, cliffs, caves, ledges, steep walls. In width, they are scattered almost by 25 kilometers. You do not even have to use the full capacity of your imagination to see a rock face of the warrior, the other a large mushroom or some strange animals. And if you have more luck than us, you will be able to find in these rocks amazing waterfall, a small one with a height of only about 3 meters, but it's very rich. Surprisingly, the noble crystal-clear water capable of such a manifestation of temper, said it literally growls, boils and foams, enveloping everything around with its coolness and freshness mixed with the aroma of local flowers and herbs. It is natural that such a miracle of nature is the state-protected territory. Of course, the state protects not only mountains but rather its inhabitants. The tops of these mountains are inhabited by the golden eagle, falcon and ordinary eagle. Just below it is the home of roe deer, hare and wild rams. Of course, we won't be able to go through the entire list of local inhabitants, but we would recommend to be careful in these places in the winter, when it is relatively easy to stumble upon a blood-thirsty wolves. This is the city of Ereymentau, the district center. The first thing that catches your eye is a calm disposition of local people. They never heard about the concept of vanity. They live a calm-paced life. Perhaps the reason is that the city is very small. The population of the city Ereymentau is about 12,000 people, and it is amazing. For example, it is currently the main street, but looking at cars, it's hard to immediately decide whether people are driving here using right-hand or left-hand traffic. And cars here, as a rule, are old and there is no traffic jams, even in rush hours. Well, isn't it lovely that everyone would like to witness with their own eyes? And those who are older may know this historical figure. It is a monument to Vladimir Lenin, the father-founder of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. USSR is gone for almost 25 years, and Ereymentau Lenin is still very much alive, which is almost unique in the post-Soviet region. And this is perhaps the essence of the local people. They are infinitely tolerant, restrained. Sometimes it seems that they have access to some kind of deep foundations of life that the rest of the citizens of the world in the bustle and worry do not even think about. In short, it is interesting to take a stroll through the streets of Ereymentau, especially during the summer days. The town is surrounded by greenery and a lot of smiles, with which its small inhabitants are particularly generous with. And in the meantime, you can visit the local museum. It is the only one here and very small, but quite curious and friendly. The building which houses the museum is history itself and the main attraction of the town. Inside there are more than 1,000 exhibits: paleontology, archaeology, ethnography, nature, in general all about the rich past and the peculiarities of the region. Such museums are usually very similar to each other, and again, as a rule, each of them has its own so-called special thing. The charm of the museum is in its very old and valuable items that belong to the great historical figures. These exhibits are intentionally were not restored. They are in the state in which they keep at the time. Look at this dombra, Kazakh national instrument. Touch it with your own hands and you will understand how a thing can change in more than 100 years. It is still amazing observations and impressions. Historical museum bears the name of Bogenbai Batyr, a native of these places, which Ereymentau residents are very proud of. To understand how this man is revered by Kazakhs is enough to know, because every city has a street named after Bogenbai Batyr. Recently, country celebrated its 300th anniversary on a grand scale. He was a severe and famous military leader who lived in the 17th-18th century. He was distinguished by not only his skillful military affairs, but also as a diplomat. His wise stone face is too one of the Ereymentau's attraction. A trip to the Ereymentau district will definitely give you impressions that haven't felt before, and most likely these impressions will be pleasant to you. Moreover, these feelings will stay with you for a long time. Even though the town is relatively close to the capital, which is usually expensive, has different prices from the capital. For different types of services, prices are low. Although, of course, the choice is not so great. For example, there is only one hotel in the city. You don't have to count the stars of the hotel, but it has everything you need. It is quite modest, but clean, comfortable, and with a welcoming touch. But they say sleep is great here. Perhaps the reason for that is pure healthy air, which can be only where steppes and forests harmoniously coexist, and where people love and cherish everything that surrounds them.